Well, guys, it's not very often I get up at 7 o'clock on my day off. That much, I promise you. But Kevin got all those parts in for his street glide. So on this episode of Puglisi's Speed Shop, we're heading over to his house, get that thing back on the road. So like I mentioned, guys, it is my day off, so absolutely no reason to drive something responsible. So got the old Le Mans there warming up, because, you know, carbureted 301. And we're going to head over to Kevin's. You guys might remember, if not, go back and check it out, that his Street Glide is having an oil something problem. So he got all his parts in. He'll talk about all that. And we got the old portable studio here, also known as bag full of GoPro stuff, and we'll cruise over there on this kind of a gloomy-ish October day after we stopped at Chaptico for breakfast sandwiches. About 5 minutes out of the way, but worth it. And we'll get this bike going. And go.
Okay, here's the key pieces for today's job. We have a cam plate, it's a cam support plate. And then the oil pump, the S&S oil pump. This is supposed to be magic. It's going to fix all my problems.
That's a weak part from everything else.
Yeah,
the stock car.
That's the missing link. We got a gasket kit with probably way too many gaskets, and we got a quickie push rod kit, so we don't have to take the valve covers off and the tank off and all of that. And these are a bonus I got. These are called lifter cuffs, billet aluminum, real fancy like, which you'll never see them again.
So you know it's good.
Yeah, because the stock ones are plastic, and they're known to break. And then another key piece of this build is the Scrapple sandwiches. You can't do the work.
Where does that go? I wasn't sure.
That goes in here.
And action.
You think we should tie this down to start with?
It'll probably be fine, right? We don't need to tie it down, do we?
I mean, do you want to tie it down? Because I clearly don't know what I'm doing.
Let me inspect it afterwards and we'll make sure.
Yeah, instead of being hung over, laying in bed.
I might have hung over. Yeah, okay, we're going to there. And okay, yeah, we should be all set there.
Okay.
I didn't realize you actually have tie downs off the cane like that.
No.
You put those tie downs on the bike? I think I've never seen them on mine.
So yeah,
we're good.
It's tied down. You check this time.
All right. What you got there?
Bugs?
Oh, some moth that he's flying your mouth.
Gross. Anywho. So, like we talked about before, we're going to get the oil pump, which is under here. So to get to there, we got to remove the bags, the side cover, the exhaust, the footboard, and this, the air cleaner, just to get to this. That's the boring stuff nobody wants to see. So, you know, when you watch some hot rod TV shows,
oh yeah,
they snap and like all the preliminary stuff is done. Can we do that?
I don't know. I wish we could.
Try it, right?
Give it a shot.
That's how it's done.
Dude, it actually worked.
I know.
Wow. All right. Well,
I wish everything was that easy.
Should we? We've been pushing our luck if we try it again for the rest of this, huh?
What do you want? No.
All right, we should probably do work.
Let's do work. I need those.
Those still $35 a piece of gloves you bought or whatever? They are, aren't they?
We don't talk about that.
You're so mad.
We don't talk about that. Smell that. It smells like dirty.
Who's ready to do? You gotta put that together, dude.
The oil pans for oil? This guy right here, he's going places.
Stick with me, kid.
All right, let's see what it looks like in there. Shall we? Sure.
Try not to walk in front of the camera as much as possible.
That's your new thing?
Well, one of those things I kept walking in front of, I was like, hey, count how many times I walked in front of the camera. And you're right, I was thinking something. Andrew counted, it was like 86. Ridiculous. Alright, this camera can definitely see it. So it's the cam chain there, and
This is the crankshaft, right? Mm-hmm. Linked to. Wait a minute. Yes. No. This is the camshaft. Camshaft hooked to the crankshaft via chain and sprocket. A nifty little tensioner.
oh, look at that guy.
I guess that's an item that is a breakable item as well. I mean,
It's plastic.
little plastic.
Well, you don't want to put extra wear on the chain though either, just make it metal, huh?
Mm-hmm. But this is not getting replaced, so I'll be using this. So I'll inspect that really good, make sure the shoe's in good shape, and what have you.
Cool. There's no problem with the tension on it, it's just...
No, it's just...
So, so we gotta get all this stuff
Yeah,
off.
gotta get all this stuff off.
Alright.
But before we remove this, we gotta remove the push rods, because we gotta take the spring tension that's in the heads off the camshaft. Because if we try to remove this, and it's pushing on the cam,
It's not gonna
it
work.
can mess up that inner bearing when it pushes down on the camshaft. So we want to take all the pressure off the camshaft before we remove this.
That makes sense? Then we'll leave that one going, and then like other stuff will come with this guy.
Cut them with tension on, obviously. And that's why you get bolt cutters and tool Here's one.
Should I put this on the fence and then I'll put it back in?
I'll just put it over here.
This is not moving back on stuff.
The not going on pile. No, I don't.
You already had it fixed it.
Yeah, try to get in the thing.
Andrew actually had to put subtitles for this week's attention.
You will?
He had to put subtitles for this week's attention.
Because you got mush mouth?
Yeah. I was in there working in the closet. He's like, really seriously, I need to come here. What did you say here? And I was like, not sure. Hold on, play it again. Okay, here it is.
Wow, I didn't even know. You can't even decipher your own words. Dude, that beef sandwich we ate up there.
Oh my
God, thinking about it, that thing was pretty dang good.
That's what Megan, she was talking about roast beef and freshness it up. I never even think of putting those two together, let alone the gravy. Once we got a little money there, it was alright.
Huh?
Once we got a little money, that piece was alright.
They're really good. Cobalt, there's another one there.
Yeah, but honestly, I bought one. Cause I thought they were decent when they first come out, you know. Those was all sponsored up and everything. I bought a pair of ratcheting screwdrivers. Both of them worked like 6 times. They won't even take them back. Like, if you go to like Lowe's or whatever, that's lifetime warranty. You can't take it back. I'm sorry.
Ratcheting screwdriver?
Yeah.
You mean like this Snap-on one I bought about 20 years ago and it's still flawless?
Yeah, mine's not. Yeah, Cobalt, not so much. For the 7 times I was able to use each one of them, I mean, you gotta think that's 14 uses.
Wow. That's your money. Wow.
Because one Philip, you know, and one flathead, so that was alright.
Quality piece. So if you look at these, chintzy plastic, these are grown to break. Like, as many heat cycles this been through, as many times when overheated, that's good.
So the ones that moved, these are those not
Yeah,
those.
Billet.
Okay.
The lifter cuffs, thin little plastic. It keeps the lifters from rotating in the bores, but they're very chintzy. So we're going to replace them with the S&S billet ones. Old and busted, new hotness. Oh,
You doing, Kevin?
huh?
I feel like a rock star with the stand out, you know?
All right. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I'm sure somebody will chime in and tell me how stupid I am, but front inboard, front outboard. Because I'm an aircraft guy.
No, I get that.
Aft inboard, aft outboard.
Because I'm port and starboard, but whatever.
Well, I'm Air Force.
You're also a boat guy.
going to get this off? Keep spinning over, Chaz. I mean, how would you ever do that? Oh, they make a tool. What?
I was going to hold the brake like a schlub over here. What, you got this little block here.
Well, actually, I ordered this on Amazon because I did a little research on it. And the only one I could find was this one. It wasn't like $100 something. Sorry, I swore. It was the first F-bomb. And some people were like, didn't fit. Didn't work for my application. So I was like, $12. I was going to figure it out. But I'm not feeling it right now. Here's the tensioner. No wear whatsoever on it. Still worked good, lasts a long time. So we're gonna run it.
That's all they're doing that.
See, on the back side of this Chaz, it's got an oil inlet. Right? So oil pressure goes in. And that's basically the tension. Like right now, that wouldn't really apply. It's got a little spring, but as soon as you apply oil pressure to it,
Pushing that. You see on that side? See on that side?
little passage.
It's a miraculous idea.
Now that is my.
See this? You guys take a look at this shit. I got a couple little trays at the house and I store everything in it. I gotta figure out what goes where later. Here's a little muffin tin. What's probably cost $1.50 or like
Dollar Tree or whatever.
yeah. And you got a little spot for each one of your things. You know?
Well,
It's good. You can even go as far as label. We didn't do that, but you can go as far as labeling, like where they went, like exhaust, whatever.
when I was racing, that's when I got those because when you remove an engine multiple times in the season,
Oh yeah.
you get pretty good at it. And,
That makes a lot of sense. All right, so you're saying?
the two sprockets, the cam sprocket and the crank sprocket, to line up the timing, you got to make sure the two dots are aligned, which will also put, if you notice, the flat is pointing up, and if you notice on this sprocket, there's one fat tooth on the top is also up. So I mean,
Okay.
they make it idiot proof, right?
Yeah, you see that?
Line
good
the two dots up, make sure everything's.
So everything's all legit when you put it all back together.
Well, we're gonna have to rotate it a few times, but
Well, I mean, so everything's lined up when you
Yeah.
put it back together. Otherwise, is this like an interference engine? Like stuff will all plane together if it's not?
I don't know if it is or not. If I had to guess, I would say no because Harley Davidson clearance are
Yeah, it's not
pretty
real.
liberal.
It's not real tight. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is where I fire this across the floor.
Being so careful and then bang.
Compared to your small block Chevy, that's pretty cute, huh?
Aww.
So cute.
Just put it in your pocket, carry it around with you.
And then this, the thrust bearing. $120 thousandths.
Is that a size written on it?
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah, look at that. So you can't just get like a washer from Home Depot and stick it in there, huh?
I mean, yeah, I guess you could. So there's the camshaft. All right. just spinning free.
Because there's no lifters, nothing on it.
Yeah. The crankshaft, obviously, that one won't turn.
Shouldn't. Cool. So now we gotta pull that out of there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Make room for the new hotness, like you said, huh? All right.
I'm sure probably a correct pattern to remove these, but I'm only going to pay attention when I put them in.
I think removing it, you just find it, but yeah, you probably want to sure the torque value and everything else, huh?
This one is the cam plate and the pump are all one piece.
Oh, really?
Or, well, they're integrated where,
One assembly?
yeah, where the new one obviously is two separate pieces.
Mm-hmm. You want an extension for that guy?
Come on now.
I'm going to drain a little bit. The old guy. This oh, cute little cam.
Camshaft.
And that's a pump right there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the crank. It's in a little bit, huh?
Wow, it's got an O-ring.
Oh yeah, so it's seated in good. That's what they call the cam chest, huh?
That is the cam chest.
All right. Put in spectacles and see how she looks.
I wasn't going to replace the cam bearing.
There's a wear on it there, huh?
Yeah, it's not worn. It's just it's got a.
You can't feel it at all?
No.
Just
But I
like
wasn't expecting it to have anything like the outer one. Like the outer one is perfect.
Right.
Makes me wonder if I should replace that inner cam bearing.
All right, so Kevin, we decided that we're changing the cam bearing, huh?
Yeah. Which I don't have, so we're in. Of course, I can't run the Harley today because they're closed.
So just a regular Harley cam bearing? You're not going to worry about SNS
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever?
Yeah. The reason I'm gonna put a cam bearing in it is we have a little witnessing on that camshaft. There's no, like, you can't catch your fingernail on it or anything, but it was just enough to catch my attention.
Yeah.
So I felt the bearing in there, and the bearing didn't feel as good as I wanted it to. So it's already apart. I got the tools to do it. It's probably a $20 bearing.
Yeah.
Why not?
Spend all this money on SNS stuff and not change the $20 bearing wouldn't be very intelligent.
Okay, so I think they added this seal on the third pump. And I'll have to run the numbers, but I'm going to reuse this seal. This one will go on the SNS pump. So I think this is a 3rd gen pump.
You said there's 5 altogether now?
Yeah. And the 5th gen is actually the SNS one. So
Oh,
if you look at it, or not SNS, but it's the Screaming Eagle one.
Right.
And it looks a lot like.
Which is the Harley SNS version.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Harley Performance, whatever.
1, 2. Yeah. The 4th gen pump went to 10 or 8 lobes on the rotor. Well, this one's got 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 1, 11. Maybe it was this one. Is this one different? So it has 11 lobes on it. And I believe the Gen 4 pump has 8 lobes. So this is definitely, or at least I think this is a
Gen 3?
Gen 3.
So yours is the first year of the 117, right?
No,
Oh, it's not? I thought it was.
no. 2017 was the first year.
And this is an 18. Okay.
But this motor's been apart. The last time this motor was tore down was probably 19. So this was probably the latest, greatest pump
Right.
they had in 19.
I remember at that point you were saying that an SNS pump was the way to go. Did SNS already have it figured out with the double scavenge type thing or whatever at that point in the game, or
I don't know.
yeah?
But yeah, like I said before, so the stock pump has got 2 different chambers to it,
Mhm.
right? You have the scavenge chamber, which is right there, which pulls oil from the crankcase and the cam chest together, and then sends it over to the pump side, and this pressurizes it back to the engine. What SNS has done is, instead of just 2 rotors, they've added 3. So you have, on this side, you've got 2 rotors, one that scavenges the cam chest, and then one that scavenges the crankshaft. So they have dedicated rotors for each one, or dedicated pumps for each area. And that's supposedly the hot setup, right? That's what fixes everybody's problem.
Theoretically, it should.
So if anybody wants to buy a Gen 3 pump, let me know.
Set you right up.
Low mileage, only driven by an old lady.
Just to the grocery store and church on Sundays, right?
Very minimal abuse. Never been raced. And this, I believe, got smaller. I think they went down on the scavenge too, as far as the size, I guess, to increase velocity.
What was I say?
Like I said, I'm trying to recall this from my memory.
Was that a remembery?
It's my remember.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a technical term. I don't expect you to understand.
No, it's obviously it's way beyond my scope. Well done.
Is this mine? Sandwich break.
Shut her down over here, I guess. Well, guys, back from Kevin's. Le Mans did awesome. Tell you, it's the furthest I've driven it so far. He's about 15 minutes away, and we went, 5 minutes the other way. So maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 mile round trip, something like that, probably 30-ish. But yeah, she did great. Stayed cool the whole time. Didn't even stumble. So, we'll push her a little further next time. But we're back at the shop, obviously. Sun's trying to come out, so see what we're going to do with the rest of the day. I should probably be responsible and get this thing done. But we'll see how that goes. Obviously, we ran out of parts. Kevin didn't even think, well, he did think about it. And then the guy that he ordered all his parts from, he would ask him, hey man, you don't want a cam bearing? He's like, I probably shouldn't need it. And he's like, yeah, you probably don't need it. Well, and honestly, he probably don't need it. But that is safe and sorry, like we said, we're already in there. It's down right now, let's get it done. Do it once, do it right. Right? How many times have we said the same thing? So, as always, like I said, you think you're prepared, you come along with something, but it's part of hot rodding, man. So, it is what it is, right? So he'll go get that part. Probably, he's going to call him. Today's Monday. He'll call him on Tuesday, see if they got it. If so, he'll go grab it. During the week, we'll put it back together. And make sure you guys tune in for the next episode. You can see us put it back together. So, get that thing back on the road and move on, right? Keep on keeping on. Is that what they say? I don't know. It's a thing. But until then, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, tell a friend, and as always, thanks for watching, guys.